Hi everyone, this is Bag of Don, StockMarketCaddy.com. It is April 15th at about 10:40 p.m. And we're going to take a look. I've got a couple questions today about the ETFs, the QQQs, and the IWMs. They're really, it's really the same as the futures, but just want to once again show everyone that that we trade everything and use the same group of systems on these same ETFs. So I'm going to take a look at these markets and tell you what we are seeing, what our concerns are, and then I'm also going to show you these very same markets on a point and figure chart. And at a time like this where the noise level starts to get a little bit ramped up, people get a little bit confused, and even our systems, you can even tell by our systems, all the multicolor in the systems, can just tell us, just from a color coordination standpoint, that the markets are getting either a little bit confused or getting ready to do something else or go in the other direction here for a bounce. And let me just cut right to it. You've heard me talk about the VIX futures. The VIX futures, the number was 1750 on a closing basis on the day. She got right up to it, and let me give you the closing basis of the VXX on a day and tell you how high she got today. Okay, I just had to do a check. The number on a daily basis that she had to close over was 45.53. She actually exceeded that today at one point. The VXX, again, I track the futures. I think they're just a little bit more sensitive. And but sure enough, she came back in, so it went flat. So a little bit unusual, especially with the markets having sold off. They've been able to do it rather orderly, and it is telling us that this correction, this pullback, let's just call it a pullback, could be setting up for a near-term bounce. Could be, but let's look at the daily. Is still short on the Qs, but you can see the hourly went flat. We're getting a hint of a reversing up on the hourly now, and the Russell short still on the daily, but flat. Got a hint of a reversing up. So we actually went in and sold some. Well, we had some short ETFs, so we short ETFs. So we actually sold some calls against them, and we won't get into that right now. And then the SPYs as well, still short on a daily, the SPYs, but went flat on the hourly. And you can see the diamonds here. So, and you can see that we picked up this tailwind. Now, I think what is at play, the market players love to do this going into a holiday weekend. The volume is light. So you never really like to initiate. Usually, as soon as I say never, it'll go the other way. But usually, you don't like to initiate a short position around a holiday time frame because the volume gets really light. It's very easy for the market players to come in and to blow out everybody's stops and put on a short squeeze. It's easy money for them. So be aware of that, and where they know that there's quite a bit of shorts, now loaded up. Where it's going to be, on the Qs, going to be on the Russell. These are the ones that are going to be susceptible to the biggest bounces, and then the SPYs and the down might get a little bit. We're still of a mindset that we're going to go into a full-blown correction, but near term, it's looking like a bounce. Could be the next few days. Although, God, I'm shocked that people want to be, not putting the shorts back on, before the long weekend with what's going on in Europe. But maybe that's, we don't really pay attention to the news. But I wouldn't be surprised by the middle part of next week. We go up, we bounce, and we turn back around, but we'll let you know what we're seeing at the time. So let's jump over real quick and let's look at, I want to look at the Qs, the IWM, the SPYs, and the diamonds on a point and figure. Let's and show you what we see. Okay, now if you're not familiar with point and figure, I can't in this short video explain it all to you. There are videos out there. There's, I think, one good book by Dorsey. This is not a cheap attempt to sell a DVD, but we do have a DVD on how we use point and figure. We do it a little unique how we use it. And I think for the value, it's a 90-minute DVD. You can check it out on our website in the Pro Shop. And but let's just cut into it. So those folks that are familiar, the support for the cues is right here at 84. You would expect it to bounce here. So the cues for all this correction here has not even generated a sell signal. The last time the cues generated a sell signal was over here on a point and figure. Whereas this was a buy, this was a buy, this was a buy, that was a buy, that was a buy, that was a buy, and that was a buy. So this is just a pullback. In order for the cues from this position, we'd have to break 84. And in fact, I think we did a video on this back months ago or weeks ago. You know, it could have been back in February. Said at 84 would be the trigger if it broke. Now, we don't like to break. You got to be careful about shorting on support. So we'd expect to bounce. The best thing that can happen for all you folks that want to get a shot is to see us reverse, come up here around 88, between 88 and 91, and the highs again, and see what she does. Or if she comes up in here, and then, but right now, the way the cues are, 84 is the key level. We break 84, that would be a full-blown correction, confirmed. Now, if she goes up here and oscillates here for another week or 2 weeks, it could be a different number. Let's look at the IWM. Okay, this is a point and figure on IWM. Okay, this has just been a pullback. In fact, the IWM, the last time she generated a sell was down here at 94. It didn't stick around, it reversed, and there's been a couple of these head fakes on the IWM. You got to be careful. It was, she sold here, reversed, and then broke out. IWM has, generated mostly buys, obviously. This starting back here, this was a buy, this was a buy, that was a buy, there was a buy, this was a sell that ultimately reversed quickly and then buy. This was a sell, it reversed, and then that was a buy. So here, all we've got is a pullback. The key level for the Russell would be 108. Should have to break 108 to generate a sell, and even then, with the history of what the Russell has done, you still got to be on guard. I would expect her. She might even come back down here, maybe tomorrow and test this area here. But I would expect it to bounce. In fact, for all you guys looking to get short, that would be the best thing you want to see happen. You'd like to see it bounce, get up here, back up 116, maybe even up to the high, hang out, turn back around, and break a higher support, and then boom. Now let's take a look at, so there hasn't even generated a sell. This is point and figure wise, this has just been a garden variety pullback. That's how extended the cues and even the Russell were. 10% off the top, and it's just a pullback. Let's go look at the SPY. Okay, so let's take a look at the point and figure on the SPYs. Now we're up in here. Let's come back here. Folks, this was a buy. This was a buy. This was a buy. That was a buy. This was a buy. That was a buy. And that was a buy. We have not had a sell signal, a point and figure sell signal on the SPYs. It was down here, 102. Turned around, reversed, and then there was a buy. The first buy here was around 112. That's how long it's been since we've had a point and figure sell. So what's going on up here? This is merely a pullback right now. Now, the key support level is 174. We still might, we might oscillate in here for a period of time. We might reverse back up and test this area, and 182 might become the key level. But she is doing a high level consolidation, but we don't. I just want you to see this from a point and figure. This 174 would have to be taken out. So basically, on a point and figure in these markets, I'm not seeing generally the break setup, the pattern setup that would say that there's going to be a big hit coming. Now that could be wrong because of the world events, but that is the key level. So they got to generate a sell signal to say, hey, there's at least a shot at a correction. Otherwise, just like everybody else, the spies are in a pullback. Let's look at the diamonds. Okay, this is the diamonds, and here we are up here at 162. But let's come back and let's look here. This was a buy. This was a buy. This was a buy. This was a buy. One thing about point and figure, the entries and exits are precise. This was a buy. This was a buy. So all this is a pullback. We have not had, the last sell signal in the diamonds was down here at 99.98. It reversed, generated buys ever since. Never generated a sell signal. So this is just a pullback, a garden variety point and figure pullback. Support right now is at 160. In order for the diamonds to generate a sell signal, 154 would have to get taken out. The fact that she's not even near it, and there's no discernible pattern that we're seeing here with the other markets getting ready to bounce, tells me that we're probably not going to break it this time. So we might reverse, test out this area, and then 160 2-3 weeks from now becomes the support. So from a point and figure standpoint, everything we've seen, even though the percentage has been high in the Qs and has just been a garden variety pullback as of right now. Let's look at the NDU and see what we see. Okay, I actually said the NDU. I actually wanted the NYSE. So the NYSE did generate a sell right here at 10,350. NYSE represents, many more stocks, some over 10,000. So she did generate a correction. So that is telling. So that is good to see. You can see what can happen here. So the New York Stock Exchange has generated a correction. If we get a bounce in the NYSE, yeah, I think it's also $ NYA for others, you'd be looking for a reversal. And as long as she doesn't get above 10,600, you would expect her to come back down. So this is a sell signal. So the NYSE is saying the correction's underway. So this may just be a little shallow bounce before the holidays, and maybe they come back in. We'll use our fine tuning. I mean, our radar is very finely tuned, as you know, for hourly setups where we're trading futures. So we still may see something before the weekend. So from a point and figure standpoint, though, is plenty of opportunity to still get short on the bounce. We'll try to keep you posted, and still plenty of opportunity to get that DVD. Boy, there's been some great money available on point and figure breakdowns on individual stocks. I mean, just absolutely classic stuff. We were short Amazon. Signal was up around 400 on a point and figure. So if you're not using point and figure, please start. Good luck.